What's up everyone and welcome back to the UFC News Hub. Today let's get started with the MMA world was hit with some shocking news recently. Dricus du Plessis may be dealing with a serious injury, one that could keep him out of action for up to 6 months. Fans were eagerly waiting to see him take on Khamzat Chimaev during International Fight Week, but now that fight seems unlikely to happen. Rumors began swirling after du Plessis went quiet, never directly denying the claims about his injury, which only fueled speculation. Things got more serious when Brazilian middleweight fighter Caio Borralho stepped forward with what he claims is inside information. In an interview, Caio Borralho said, "About 5 days ago, I found out from a reliable source that Dricus had been injured, but nothing was confirmed. Then Khamzat himself posted, 'This guy is complete.' Then I saw it. I think they confirmed the injury and this fight won't happen." Caio didn't stop there. He explained that because no one seems to want to fight Khamzat, he decided to step up. "I think he's the guy I have to beat, and it'll be undeniable to everyone who is the true champion of the category. So I made myself available, called the UFC, said I wanted the fight, that it could be on June 28th, that I was ready. I was already training," Borralho said. But the most concerning part came next. Caio revealed that another source, this one apparently closer to du Plessis' camp, gave him more specific and more alarming details. "I also heard from another source a little closer to Dricus' camp that it was a more serious injury. He broke his shin or something like that. He'll be out for about 6 months, Borralho said. A broken shin is no small injury, and if that timeline is accurate, it could mean we won't see du Plessis back in the octagon until late this year, or even early next year, depending on how his recovery goes. This situation puts the UFC in a tough spot. Do they hold on to du Plessis' title and wait for him to recover? Or do they create an interim championship, letting someone like Khamzat or Caio fight for it in the meantime? That's the big question now. If it turns out du Plessis is sidelined for the long haul, the UFC might have no choice but to act quickly to keep the middleweight division moving forward. One thing's for sure, if Caio Borralho really is ready to step in, and if Khamzat agrees, this could lead to a new clash that fans didn't expect but would absolutely want to see. The only thing left now is official confirmation. Until then, the speculation will continue, and all eyes will stay on du Plessis and what happens next. Before we continue, subscribe and click the bell icon to help support the channel. Ilia Topuria has finally given fans something to get excited about, and it's not just another vague hint. After weeks of rumors and speculation swirling around his next move, Topuria took to social media to make it official. Training camp for his next UFC fight has already begun. Ilia said camp has started. Simple, but powerful enough to send fans into a frenzy. No date, no opponent, just enough to confirm that something big is coming. But while Ilia kept things tight-lipped, others started filling in the blanks. Eurosport reporter Alvaro Carmero reposted Ilia's announcement and added a major detail that had everyone buzzing. Alvaro said, "Ilia Topuria will be fighting at International Fight Week for a title, I'm told." That one sentence set the MMA world on fire. The idea of Topuria fighting for a title, possibly the undisputed lightweight title, had fans questioning everything they thought they knew about the current rankings and timelines. Of course, the big mystery is who he's going to face. At first, it seemed unlikely that Topuria would be matched up with Islam Makhachev. Even Khabib Nurmagomedov appeared uninterested in that matchup, or so people thought. But then Khabib posted an image of a charging bull on social media, which felt like a cryptic endorsement. Fans immediately started to wonder, was that his way of hinting that the Topuria versus Makhachev fight was actually in the works? Soon after, Alvaro Carmero doubled down with even more clarity. Alvaro said, "There will be no interim lightweight belt. It'll be undisputed or vacant. There are no other options." That line gave even more weight to the theory that Topuria is about to fight for the full lightweight championship. No placeholder titles, no temporary crowns. And just as fans were digesting that news, Charles Oliveira jumped back into the spotlight. He posted a reel on Instagram, captioned simply, "The Return." That post came at the perfect time, and people couldn't help but wonder if Charles was being lined up as Topuria's next opponent. Could it be that Islam Makhachev is vacating the belt and moving up in weight? If so, the UFC might be planning a showdown between Topuria and Oliveira for the vacant strap. But there's another scenario that makes just as much sense, maybe even more. What if Makhachev hasn't vacated anything and he's agreed to defend his title against Topuria at UFC 317? That would be a massive main event, and if that happens, it's very possible the co-main event could feature Charles Oliveira taking on Arman Tsarukyan in a #1 contender matchup. That way, if either Makhachev or Topuria is forced to pull out, the UFC has backup fighters ready to go. It's a smart move and the kind of planning we've seen the UFC lean on more and more. So now the question becomes, what exactly is going to happen at UFC 317? Will it be Ilia Topuria challenging Islam Makhachev for the undisputed lightweight belt? Will Charles Oliveira be part of that same card, possibly one win away from another shot at gold? Let us know what you think in the comments, because something big is clearly brewing, and we're just waiting for the UFC to drop the official announcement.